Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub Weekend Edition, Saturday, June 26. Everybody's working for the weekend here at Pub Sports Radio, including Big Show behind the scenes, producing the show as always. We're here ready to break down game number 4 of the Western Conference Finals. It is a pivotal game in the series. Suns either go up 3-1 or we've got a brand new series and we got a best of 3 based on what happens tonight between the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. We got Skee Prophet, Dutch Boy Fresh, Conor Mac with you as always. We'll get to that game in just a second, but first we'll talk about last night. And the Milwaukee Bucks came to play right from the start, and they didn't take any prisoners last night. And the Atlanta Hawks found that out the hard way. Game was over pretty much in the second quarter. An absolutely dominant performance by the Bucks. Really great performance from many different players. Of all people, Brook Lopez decides to show up and play good in a playoff game last night for the Milwaukee Bucks. But obviously, Giannis got off to a terrific start in the game. Drew Holiday did his thing again offensively. That's the one prop I did win. Saved me from going 0 for 7 with props last night. I went 1-6 thanks to Drew Holiday going over his point total, but that was the only one. Of course, I like Middleton a lot, and he did his thing. He was all right, but again, when you're up by 30, you're not going to play Chris Middleton much of the second half, and that's exactly what we saw. So we're victimized there by a blowout game. But look, Milwaukee's defense, as good as I've seen it in these playoffs, completely shut down and neutralized Atlanta. That's what allowed them to pull away. Their offensive efficiency was off the charts. I can't say it was necessarily great defense by Atlanta last night, but give the Bucks credit. They moved the ball up better, a lot more fluidity in what they were running offensively, and they just took it to Atlanta and hammered them start to finish. And now we have a 1-1 series going back to the ATL for Game 3 on Sunday night. Skee, your thoughts from last night's Bucks blowout?
Bucks just came to play. I mean, for me, it kind of got out of hand real quick. I was watching this game at home, and last I remember, it was 12-5 with a little bit more than 5 minutes left. I walk over to the casino. It's erupted. The total, I don't know how many points. How did they score that many points in 4 minutes? So,
yeah.
3 after
shitload straight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the score. I thought I was tripping by the time I got to the casino. So the first half under didn't get there, but the full game under did. And Brook Lopez, man, got that last rebound to get me. 16 points, 1 rebound. So I lost this prop. It was a losing day for me, 1-2. Look to try to bounce back today. But, it was surprising to me that he was out there for so long, but I guess when you're running away with the game, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, most of my betting days are either winning days, even days, or I lose slightly. Usually that's the majority. I have a profitable day, I have a break-even day, or I have a slight losing day. Well, it was a massive losing day for me yesterday across the board. It was brutal. Baseball couldn't do anything right. The basketball game just went to shit once it became a blowout because all the props lost except for Drew Holiday's. So yesterday was one of those, devilish days for me. We try to avoid them, but they do happen once in a while for sure. Dutch, what do you think about last night, Milwaukee cruising?
Yeah, man, real quick. Salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents out there. The chat, the real ones. If you're all digging the content, smash the motherfucking like button real quick. Just like motherfucking Milwaukee Bucks smashed that ass last night. Yeah, man. Trey motherfucking Young, MIA last night. That's all I know. 15-3-2. Minus 20 something from it was all bad for Trey motherfucking Young. Hey, shimmy my ass. Shit. Once he did that shimmy, that's what my man Skee missed. That's what happened. He did a little shimmy for his 8th point on Connaughton in the corner, and it was over after that shit. I go, this motherfucker shimmying this early, and Milwaukee seen it too, and they came out mad as fuck. Giannis and the boys, Holiday and the crew handled business from start to finish. Loaded up on that first half. Was very happy with that outcome. I said it was good money, and boy, I wasn't lying. Shout out to my boy Preston in the chat. He said did something, did a little something to Trey. Hey, Milwaukee was in that ass, bro. They knew Trey can't be dancing like that. They take that shit personal, and that little 6'1" motherfucker came back to reality last night. And, I expect it to continue to happen, to be honest with you. But we'll talk more about that when that happens. But definitely very happy with Fear the Motherfucking Deer last night. Shout out to my guy Razor. And like you touched on it, Ian, the blowouts, man. Blowouts are where props go to fucking die. And that was the only brick I had yesterday was Middleton. He had 2.5. Of course, we had over the 2.5 threes. Finished with 2. No run in the fourth. We know the deal. Luke Murphy knows it very well. Shout out to Luke Murphy. He knows the props. They really motherfucking seem to hit us in them blowouts, unfortunately. But we're gonna get right today. We're gonna smash these motherfuckers straight over the head. Believe that.
He does know it because he's always right on Twitter telling me, "Hey, another blowout, another bad prop."
Quick to remind us.
Yeah, I know, Luke. We feel the pain. I'm with you on with you. It's terrible. It's a bad thing. It's a brutal thing when you know that if it's a close game or they play the full 4 quarters, a lot of these props are going to hit. It sucks. It's brutal, but it's a nature of the beast. It just simply is. It's what you got to put up with. It's shit you have to deal with when it's a blowout, unfortunately. And when you do get a blowout, unfortunately, that's the risk you run into with some of those props, no doubt. C-Mac, what do you think here about last night?
Man, it just was an ass whipping from jump, kind of. Yep. Especially the second quarter, it just really got away. I mean, and the Bucks were hot. Lopez was hitting threes. Holiday, Middleton, the bench hit threes, and the one prop I didn't play. I talked about it with Forbes over 1.5. He got 2 threes and plus 155, and I didn't
call.
I didn't play it though.
Forbes.
I didn't play it. I didn't play it though.
Your intuition was right.
Yeah, so I went 1 and 2. Collins missed his double-double. But the Bucks got the boards like we talked about. They were all over them. How the Hawks were so good in game 1. Bucks just were hot from the field, just kicked their ass. So I won the under. Of course, the Hawks lost in the Collins. So 1 and 2 day. But I'm ready for today. Let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it.
Hey, 1 second, Ian.
Yeah.
I got to challenge my boy Dutch.
Oh, here we go. How did I know he was coming at me?
He only played 28 minutes. It's the first time he didn't score 20 points in the playoffs. And if I recall, I mean, I saw a Dame Lillard 10-point game in the playoffs. Got to stop my boy out.
Come on, man. Hey, this guy, you comparing Trey motherfucking Young to Damian Lillard. I already told you about that. Let's not go there.
If you're going to crucify him for one game, Dame Lillard had 10 points.
Hey, I'm just saying his ass was garbage as fuck last night. Everybody want to put his ass in the bleachers game 1, and we put his ass back to reality game 2. Trey Young's a good player. He ain't no fucking superstar. Point blank, period. The motherfucker ain't no superstar. There's one superstar on that court, and it's Giannis, Greek the motherfucking freak. And the panel might not agree with me, but I'm taking Drew Holiday over Trey fucking Young. I don't give a fuck what you say. Defense, it's all around. I'm taking Drew Holiday every day of the week over Trey Young.
Hey, you dealing with some good stuff over there, Dutch.
I knew you would. I know nobody gonna agree with it, but that's just how I look at it. I think Drew Holiday is a better all-around player than Trey Young, in my opinion. Right now, he better than me.
We should have known that the game after TNT basically calls him a superstar after that game 1 performance, that he would have come back down to earth, right? Last night a little bit, and that's exactly what. Before we get to
also, Ian, real quick, just to touch on it real quick. Now, this is the game that he had in the one appearance he had in the regular season against Atlanta or against Milwaukee. They held him to 17 points. I believe 5 of 17 from the field. This is why I was on the under game 1. Like Ian likes to say, a day late, dollar short. Unfortunately, I was with Trey Young, but game 2 was a little bit more of what I expected to happen. Maybe not that bad, but I'm just saying it ain't the first time. It sure as hell won't be the last time Trey Young gets shut down.
Yeah. Well, definitely we'll wait. And tomorrow night, we'll see. But maybe back on his home court, he's going to get some home cooking and some calls. And who knows? Because he definitely has voiced his displeasure at times about some of the calls. We'll see if he gets a few more of them in Atlanta for game 3 and game 4. Before we get to tonight's game and break down Suns Clippers, just some thoughts from all of you guys, my colleagues here, my compadres on the show about the coaching hires that have been made the last few days in the NBA. We got Rick Carlisle in Indiana. We got Jason Kidd in Dallas. And how about Chauncey Billups, as the Detroit PA guy always said that when he made a shot for the Pistons many years ago. But Chauncey Billups now in Portland, taking over as the head coach of the Blazers. I like all the hires, to be honest. Carlisle can win. Carlisle's a good veteran coach. He'll be an upgrade from the last guy, Bjorgren, in Indiana. Kidd in Dallas. Look, I'm going to say that's a thumbs up for now because, look, Cuban wanted him. Luka wanted him. This is a Luka and Cuban decision here, bringing Kidd in Dallas. So it's got to work, right? You guys wanted him. You guys wanted to go with Jason Kidd, and now you got him. So it's got to work. You think it will? I don't mind that hire. We'll see how it goes. And I like the Billups hire for Portland. Look, it's the same thing with Indiana. I like Carlisle. I think Billups will be good, but it's already an upgrade because the last guy was no good. Bjorgren was no good in Indiana. Terry Stotts was overrated, did not do enough with that Portland team. And just having Billups in there, I think it's an upgrade for Portland. I'm looking forward to seeing how Chauncey does as an NBA head coach. Remember, he's an assistant with the Clippers, and it's done some nice work from a coaching standpoint with that group, him and Lou. But so you got to give some credit to Billups and what he's been doing as assistant there. So nice hire, I think, for Portland. Skee, what do you think about the 3 hires this week?
Well, you got to love a coach who'll do anything to win. And who I'm talking about is Jason Kidd. My memory is just him. He don't even have any timeouts. He spills his drink on the floor so he can get a timeout. So you gotta love a coach who'll do anything to win. The other 2 guys, what was it? Rick Carlisle. Where did he go?
Indiana, baby. Back
Pacers.
That should be good. I mean, I respect Rick Carlisle as a coach, and I think they have some pieces over there that they can make work for the Pacers. And I think that would be good. And my bad, Ian, you got to remind me the 3rd guy.
Chauncey Billups to P-Town, man. Don't forget that one.
Chauncey Billups to Portland, yep.
I missed that one. I didn't catch that one at all, but
it was last night. Oh, it was late last night.
That was a great hire.
Yeah.
Okay. I just rolled out of bed, so I missed it. But he's been good. I mean, you talk about Ty Lue making adjustments. Ty Lue credits Chauncey and says that, I mean, they would always talk about stuff even before he was a assistant coach over there and how they just kind of game plan together. So I expect him to do a good job in Portland. Terry Stotts, I'm not big on him. I mean, you could say he runs some cool offensive sets, but I think Billups will be better.
And you know what's good? Billups will come in. He'll fix the defense there. And remember, Indiana's defense was broken second half of the season. They just forgot how to play defense, the Pacers. Rick Carlisle's defensive-minded guy. He's going to get in there and fix that shit. And that's why I think it's a good hire for Indiana. You're going to get back to better defense, I think, with Rick Carlisle now running the show. Dutch, what did you think of the hires? Carlisle, Kidd, Billups.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Eric Chang. He said Sam Cassell, did he get hired by the Wizards? He said that a couple times, I believe. So that's a solid pick, too. I like that. Honestly, I like all the hires, and I'm very, very happy. And I don't want to touch too much on the coaching from Portland, but they were talking about D'Antoni and some other shit, and I would have, threw a motherfucking fit. So I'm very happy with Chauncey Billups, and I think Jason Kidd's a great hire, and I think Rick Carlisle going back, to Indiana, that's a really good hire, to develop that team there. I like everything that's been done actually in the coaching. I can't remember the last time I've said that. So yeah, I pretty much agree with what everyone said on the panel so far.
Can I ask a question really quick? Well, really towards Dutch, just because he's a Portland fan, and so I want to know what you think about this quote. What does it mean to you? It says, there's a palpable sense of urgency coming from Lillard's camp. Lillard wants to win big, and he wants to do it now. What does that mean to you?
That means that just means he wants to win, bro. Why, everyone trying to touch on Lillard leaving. This motherfucker I think he dreams about Lillard coming to LA. He ain't going nowhere, Skee. All right, his camp wants to win, and they want to make the right moves. This is what they're telling me. Portland better make some moves, and it's about time they do it. And they made the number one move in hiring Chauncey Billups. The number one move in that. So we'll see what they do, continue to do. But don't worry, man. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be P-Town's finest for a very long time.
And if he wants, I'll go pick him up from the airport right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, but you better have that good too.
Hell yeah.
Well, not just pick him up from the airport. You'll have the champagne and and whatever else in the friggin' back seat, whatever he wants, food wise, drink wise. Get that going for him.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere, man. He's going to be in P-Town for a while.
This doesn't guarantee he stays, but this sure as hell helps a hire like Chauncey Billups.
I mean, yeah.
Sure,
this is his hire. He has his name stamped. I don't want to say he's like, hey, this is his guy, but he definitely got his name stamped on this as well. He approved this motherfucker for sure.
Yeah, I think that played a big part in it, and it's also why, because it was down to him, and it was down to him and Becky Hammond, and that's why history will have to wait. We're going to have to put history on hold for a second.
He'd probably be on his way to L.A. if it was the other one. Sorry,
exactly. Conor Mac, what did you think of the hires, 3 of them?
I don't know about the Jason Kidd. We'll see. This is 3rd time around. I guess he's been more, likable now as an assistant that he's got away from the Bucks and the net. You know, he caught a lot of shit early on as a head coach. I like Carlisle. I thought that was a little out of left field. I didn't hear anything about that really. I mean, he just leaves Dallas and all of a sudden, boom, Pacers pick him up. I think that's solid for them. And yeah, Chauncey, anybody but Stotts. And I think Chauncey's got a good basketball mind. It's good to see him get a head coaching job. We'll see what he can do with the Blazers. So I liked it.
All right, there we go. Lots of coaching activity this week. And you're right, Washington's on the hunt for someone. Sam Cassell is on the short list of finalists there. So keep an eye on that. They might be
Dennis Garcia says, can Chauncey Billups teach defense? I mean, they play some fucking pretty good defense in Detroit, team defense in Detroit too.
Yes.
So, you know,
as a player, he sure did. That team with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups back in the day. Yeah, Tayshaun Prince. I always thought he was. I always called him Mr. Malnutrition.
Yeah, but he plays some defense, man. And how the hell did they beat LA?
All right, enough Piston talk.
Yeah, that's enough Pistons stuff. Well, we're talking about the one good season they've had since the Isaiah Thomas days.
Hey, we're talking about big
90s.
shots.
Yeah, with,
at my expense. It's okay.
Yeah. Really, I mean, the Pistons had the Isaiah Thomas, Lambeer days, you know, when they beat Jordan and the Bulls, you know, in the night, and then they had that great year with Rasheed and Tayshaun Prince and Ben Wallace and all them. And other than that, it's been miserable every other year for the Pistons, pretty much. Other than that, those 4 years, the Isaiah era, and then that 1 year they won the title in the 2000s. So you got to give Pistons some love. They haven't had a whole lot of it, you know, the last few years. Who's going to get the love tonight from us in Game 4, Western Conference Finals, Suns and Clippers? We got the Suns 1-point road favorites again, and this total's been bet down again. People are saying, you know what? We've seen slower pace. We've seen obviously the bigger lineup, the defensive lineup put out by the Clippers the last 2 games, and they're betting it that way. It opened in the 220s. It's down to 218. This total now between the Clippers and the Suns. I know the Clippers have had this pattern of being down 2-0. Coming back and tying the series at 2 against Dallas and again versus Utah. And I know there's going to be some belief that it could happen again tonight. Maybe it can. You know, maybe they're just a team that gets better, that gets settled in, gets stronger as the series goes. But I got to think Phoenix will fire back strong tonight. They were very, very adamant post-game after Game 3 that we didn't match their intensity, their urgency, their desperation. They kind of thought, you know, sit back and rest on our laurels, if you will, rest on the fact we won the first 2 games, that we have Chris Paul back, and you just didn't see that same, cohesion, intensity, especially at the defensive end throughout that game, and especially in the second half. Credit to the Clippers. I mean, Zubac's finally had a great game. They got some really good performances across the board from various Clipper players, but I think the Phoenix Suns have a much better game in them. I think there's a pretty good chance we see it tonight. I do like Phoenix here. I like them to win the game. I'll take them just full game money line here. I think they'll make this a 3-1 series tonight. Chris Paul should feel a lot better, more comfortable, more fluid now with his second game back from the absence. That should definitely help. So I like the Suns here. I have nothing really in terms of the total in this game. I would lean under if the lineups are going to stay exactly the same. Are they going to stay exactly the same is the question. You would think for the Clippers, they almost beat Phoenix in Game 2 with that bigger lineup, that defensive lineup, and they won Game 3. So you would think they wouldn't change a thing, which makes me think the under is probably the play here. As far as the player props, you know where we're going. DeAndre Ayton again. Like DeAndre Ayton didn't even have a good game by his standards in Game 3, and he still went over his points prop in Game 3. So you got to roll with that. Keep on going with it, DeAndre Ayton. And this could be a game for points and assists. And I see some people in the chat thinking that for Chris Paul to be a little bit more assertive, aggressive. This is one of those games off a loss. He's going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable now. His second game back. I wouldn't argue with looking at Chris Paul player props in this game, but certainly DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I know it's a broken record at this point, but look, he's got an advantage. Look, I think Zubac's did a lot better on him in the last game. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you know, he still got to 18 points and he didn't even play down the stretch because it was a blowout. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You go back to the DeAndre Ayton well, as far as I'm concerned. What do you think here, Skee Prophet? Game 4, Suns Clippers.
You know, I'm going back and forth on this game. You know, it seems like a really tough game for me. I do agree with Ayton. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. still sitting at 26.5 for points and rebounds. Like I said before, I think it should be closer to 30. So I like him to get up and over. I see Eric Chang down here. Yeah, Reggie Jackson threes. The book's kind of caught on now. It's really juiced, or they're putting it at 3.5. So at this point, it's been great. Been riding it all the time. He's been cashing that, having 3 or more 3-pointers, but I probably would have to look towards points if I'm betting on Reggie Jackson now rather than a 3.5 number. And I think that's all that I would rock with for the props. On the game, I think Cameron Payne being hurt is a big piece for Phoenix because, they had trouble with him. He plays extremely fast, and I just felt like that's what Phoenix was missing, like his pace and his energy. So if he's not right, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence for Phoenix. I agree with you that Chris Paul should be better in this game. I thought that he'll be rested in the first game, and I think he'll be better. So I probably would agree with your Chris Paul props. And I mentioned it last game. These spreads like this in the playoffs, the book is trying to trap you one way or the other. These short spreads of one, and usually it's the dog who ends up winning. So I'm hesitant. If I had to play right now, I would probably play the Clippers because the Suns, like I talked about Cameron Payne, the Suns also weren't as good on the road as they were at home. And just like Suns didn't shoot well, Clippers didn't necessarily play well either. They just were able to get a victory. And you look at the past couple games, they could have won some of those games too. So Clippers at the house, everybody probably liking the Suns tonight. I think the Clippers can even it up. So I'm looking that way. And on the total, Patrick Beverly and Zubac, I'm always going to think under. And then, of course, you have Chris Paul, who can slow it down at the end of the game, throughout the game, whatever the case may be. So full game, I'll lean under. If you're liking any kind of over here, I think it would have to be first half.
Yeah, you got key cogs on both sides questionable. Payne for the Suns and Marcus Morris for the Clippers. So keep an eye on that. Both of them questionable for tonight, but we'll wait and see. I think there's a chance Payne plays, but again, keep an eye on that. We'll know more around 30 minutes or so before the game starts. So what do you think here, Dutch, game 4?
Yeah, shout out to Anthony. I missed that last name, but he said, yeah, with Book. I agree.
That's Anthony Imbrogno. I like saying it because I nailed it. I've nailed it, and he's complimenting me, saying you're the one person that says the name right. So that's why.
I'll say Bubba Wallace. I can say that.
Yeah.
My man. Yeah. Shout out to both y'all. Abby Jackson. Yeah. I would agree. Like I'm really with Skee on this. Like I'm back and forth. Like I don't know if I thought I would be like Phoenix here, but something tells me, shout out to Lucky Power. Something tells me, man, that this is a Clippers spot right here. I don't know what it is. I just now Cameron Payne's obviously a big deal. He touched on that as well. They say he's walking fine. I don't know. I don't want to force a bet here, but I agree with Skee. If you force me to play a bet here, it'd probably have to be the Clippers at home. I just feel like this series has 6-7 kind of written all over, and which is kind of surprised me a little bit. They're a little more, they're a little bit more grimy than I thought. A little more, a little better. Clippers are simply a better team than I thought without Kawhi Leonard. They continue to show that they can score. They get it from somewhere, and man, I would look under, but I don't want to bet an under because I don't like stressing these motherfucking unders. To me, it has under written all over it, but I'm gonna stay off. I'm gonna look to the prop market here. I'm not mad at DeAndre. He's up at 26 or up at 16 and a half now. I expect him to be better on the rebounding. He got outworked by Zubac in game 3. I expect him to get over the rebounds. I might stay off him tonight. I don't know. I haven't made anything official on DeAndre, but I'm definitely not mad at anything. If his points and rebounds are at 26 and a half, I definitely like that. But I'm looking definitely at CP3 over 1.5 threes. It's at right around -113. Now he's went over this number 4 out of the last 5. Played horrible in game 3 and still got 2 threes. I like the double-double. It's nowhere near what we were getting. But I do believe he will be better in this game. He's went over double 3 in the last 5. And also he did get a double, last game. I just expect, I don't know how good Cameron Payne will be. I expect him to be on the floor at times. But, Chris Paul's got to want to just show out against these Clippers. Remember, he had some years there with the Clippers. So I really expect him to load up the stat sheet. So I like the double-double, and I like the value there over the threes. The points are a little juiced to 18.5, and the assists, I believe, are 9.5 or 10. But a sneaky prop I like is Cameron Johnson, over 7.5 points. Now, he's went over this number every game in the series, and I believe the last two of the in the previous series. He's averaging 11.5 points in the series in 24 minutes on 14 of 20 from the field. A little Tar Heel smooth, man. Give him a little more minutes maybe, but I definitely believe he'll be in double digits, shooting good from the field, feeling himself, attacking, playing good minutes. I hope he gets a little bit more, but I definitely expect him to get over 7.5. And this was at even money too. Now, a prop that I have been looking at, I don't know if I want to go to the window with this, but everything's telling me to bet under on the Booker 27.5. He's 10 of 37 from the field in the last 2 games, shooting 27%. He's only averaged 17.5 points, and they are keen in on him, whether it be Beverly, whether it be Paul George, whether it be Mann. I mean, they got guys that they can continuously throw at Booker. Since he showed out game 1, they made him look really average. I believe he only had 15 every previous game. So I have a hard time seeing him getting 27, 28 points. It is minus 106 too, so I definitely like to look on Booker. But we've all mentioned him. Reggie Jackson, Skee said it. The threes, he's been going to it, but it is 3.5 now. But I like 19.5 points. It's minus 102. He's averaging 22 in the series. He's went over this. He's got 20 plus points in the last 5 games since Kawhi went out. If you're watching the game, Reggie's playing confident basketball. I see him getting 20 plus. So this is a tough game for me though, but I definitely look for some props to take advantage of. And I expect the Clippers to probably pull this game out. Hopefully we get a good game here and the props can go to the last minute of this fucking fourth quarter. We can get a good, strong, competitive game and cash some props tonight.
That's what I think happens. I just hope the Suns win a close game, not the Clippers. That's the only difference. But I do think it's going to be a close game. And I think the Suns by 4 or 5, I think is what it's going to be close. I think it's going to be really tight. It could be down at final minute. It's decided. Could be one of those games. But I think the Suns just find a way, especially with Paul down the stretch, feeling better, feeling more fluid, pull it out. By the way, they're 12-4 against the spread off a loss. Phoenix in their last 16 games. Very, very good off a straight-up loss in terms of bounce-back team. So that's another reason why I kind of like them tonight. Paul George, I would consider him actually points, rebounds, and assists. He had 50 combined points, rebounds, and assists in game 3. I think the number's 43.5, 44.5 tonight. That's manageable. I think you could get over that number, especially in a game like this. It's important. Clippers won the last game. They got to win this one too. And he's got to be part of that. So
his double-double is his double-double's plus money too. I was looking at that.
That's something. I like that price as well. So PG, I think tonight, looking at those points, rebounds, assists prop, he got 50 the last game. He didn't even shoot all that great in the last game. He still got 50 points, rebounds, and assists. The double-double at the plus price might be worth a look as well on Paul George. Connor, what do you think here? Suns Clippers.
Yeah, plus 110. That might be a look. I mean, he had 15 rebounds. They out-rebounded him by like 8 or 10, something like that. The Clippers, Zubac was huge. Can he get 16 boards and 15 points again?
No, I think Zubac is back to his normal self tonight.
Okay. I had a feeling you might say that, Ian. Clippers shot a little bit better, like 40%. The Suns, I just looked at Paul and Booker, 5 of 19 and 5 of 21. I think they shoot better tonight. Especially those two guys. We talked about Chris Paul really wants this. I lean the Suns. And right now it's a pick 'em most places. If you look right now, it's just competitive. So that's what goes to what my best look. I think the under. I got a 219. I think that's what the lineup the Clippers are going with. It worked. I'm on the under here, and you got to stick to Ayton, Reggie Jackson. His 3 is now 3.5 or plus money instead of his 2.5. But I think his points there are a good look. And that was all I really looked at prop-wise. I like the PG double-double, though. He's gotten a lot of boards since Kawhi's been out. That might be a really good look. You mentioned guys at plus 110.
Yeah, and definitely something to consider getting the double-double Paul George at the price that was being offered. Because, look, last game, 27 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. So there you go. Got the double-double with room to spare in game 3. So I'll be on that too here in game 4. Great stuff. Connor, Dutch, Skee. We'll get to best bets, Dutch's freshest look in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in, have a bite to eat, some pints, and check out the live music, DJs, karaoke there as well. Manscaped promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase. The brand new and improved Lawnmower 4.0 available, and you get 20% off that purchase. Or any product you get from Manscaped with the promo code PubSports, and mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. We've got the NHL, the NBA playoffs, and Major League Baseball still on a daily basis. We've got the football season 2 months around the corner. Said it a bunch. We're going to have wall-to-wall content and shows for football season right here on Pub Sports Radio. The Discord is going to be popping. You know, I'm in and out of the Discord right now in the spring and summer. I try to relax a little, had some time away. But in that football season, on a Saturday and Sunday, I plan on being in that Discord all afternoon while I'm streaming the games, watching the games, live bets, halftime bets, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a huge football season ahead. So get on mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. No time that is better than now to sign up there, get yourself ready for football season. Mybookie.ag and use the promo code PubSports. All right, it is best bet time as well. Dutch's freshest look. Skee, we'll start with you. Best bet, Game 4, Suns Clippers.
Hey, I agree with I came on here and it was hard disagreeing with Razor last time, so I'll let y'all know. I agree with Razor here, what he's saying. It's impossible for the Suns to lose 2 in a row, right? Line is -1. He says, wow, thank you, Vegas, for the gift. Not so fast. It's a trap. Yeah, man. I talked about it last time. These two teams played. These spreads, when the line is 1 or 1.5, it's a bomb. Don't fall for it. I'm going with the Clippers, man. Those teams in that situation this year, the Dogs are 6-1 straight up and against the spread. If you want to go back past 2 or 3 years to 2019, you have 16-5 straight up and against the spread. Clippers tied up tonight.
All right, liking the Clippers to even up the series, 2 games apiece. Best bet for Skee Profit. And yeah, I mean, there's no way the Suns can lose 2 in a row. Yeah, there is a way. I don't think it's going to happen, but yes, there is a way. It absolutely is a way. And we've seen the Clippers win 2 in a row before, up down 2-0 in a series. So we'll see if they can get it done tonight. Dutch, what do you got for us for freshest look?
The freshest look, man. This one's tough. I really like the CP3 double-double, but I'm going to go with the Paul George double-double. Get some plus money on the freshest look tonight because I expect the Clippers to win this game. I agree with my guy Razor and my guy Skee. Let's get this motherfucking money. I'm going Paul George double-double plus 110, I believe, is the best number out there. Shop around, see if you get some money on that.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit, that double-double prop Paul George. That is the freshest look for Dutch today for Suns Clippers Game 4. All right, Conor Mac, what do you like here for best bet?
Yeah, I was going to go with Reggie Jackson, but I'm going to stick with the under here. I just don't see any. Chris Paul's back. They didn't get past 100, so give me the under here, 219 or 218.5. I think it gets under tonight. Beverly, that starting lineup, it stays under.
All right, there we go. Under the total once again. This will be the 3rd straight under in the series. If it cashes, sticking with it, right back to the under. Suns Clippers for Conor Mac for his best bet. I was going to go with Ayton again, but I used Ayton as a best bet the other night for Game 3. I like Ayton again, but I'm going to go something else tonight. I'm going to go Chris Paul, CP3, and I'm going to do points and assists over 28.5 for Chris Paul tonight. I think he's a lot better. He knows that. I like the way he grabs this team by the throat when they lose the previous game, and he says, I'm going to be a difference maker, and I'm going to lead the way. And I think you're going to see that. Win or lose this game tonight, Chris Paul will be a factor in my mind. It'll be a lot more fluid. It'll be a lot more comfortable. I think it'll be a lot better tonight with that game under his belt now in Game 3. Chris Paul, over points and assists, over 28.5. That'll be my best bet for tonight. And that'll wrap up this edition of the Pub Sports Radio NBA Pub Hub for Game 4 Suns Clippers. We'll be back with you tomorrow on Sunday.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah.
Can I cut in real quick? Don't forget to go check out the boys live right now for UFC Gane versus Volkov right now.
Live betcast right there, UFC all afternoon because they're in the preliminary card is already underway with that. There's fights already off the board. So,
big show.
Yep. And then the main cards later. There's some good ones. There's a Canuck on the card, Canadian, Tanner Bozer, and he's been pretty good lately, fighting in the, I think, the co-main event, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll cheer him on. I think he wins that fight, too. by the way. Maybe I'm a little Canadian biased there, never know. But nevertheless, UFC Vegas, Betcast right now on Pub Sports Radio. Check them out. They'll take you through every fight live throughout the rest of the UFC event today. Great stuff. We are back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh, Skee Prophet. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow. Talk to you again Sunday for another NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the chat, the real ones. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this with your friends and fam. We're going in. We're coming out with the motherfucking bag. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We coming! Let's go.
Yeah, man.